Hello, in this video I want to answer the question, what is failure mode and effect analysis? FMEA. So here FMEA is part of the deep and robust tool set, that is Six Sigma. It comes out of manufacturing industry but can be very valuable to project managers in understanding and analyzing problems on your projects. FMEA is a highly systematic approach for identifying and analyzing potential failures in a system. It tracks back to 1940s and 1950s, but it is as valuable today as it was then, and the best way to understand it is to take you through the typical failure mode and effect analysis worksheet. There are many different forms of these. Some are very simple, some are enormously complex and sophisticated. I am going to use one of the form which lies in the middle, that is it is not more complex and it is not as simple, but it captures everything that you need to understand as a part of getting a grip of how you might be able to use failure mode and effect analysis on your project. So first, each part of the process needs a unique reference number or reference ID, and often FMEA uses a similar numbering approach to that we use when we create a project work breakdown structures. Next, we need to outline the function, the step and the item that we are analyzing. Then failure mode, the thing either has gone wrong or could potentially go wrong. There might be multiple failure modes at each function or the process. For each failure modes, we need to identify potential causes that can lead the step or function or the process which is going wrong. And equally, we need to think about the potential impact. So what is the impact on key output variables or on internal requirements, for example, and sometimes this is split into local effects and system wide effects indeed. For a very complex system, that could be affect at different layers within the system all the way up to the system wide. Then we have some measure of severity, how severe is the potential impact or effect on the end user of the client, the customer in our projects, or to our stakeholders. And just like any risk register, we will also have a probability estimate. So for failure mode and effect analysis, this is often represented as frequency, how frequently is this likely to occur, because in manufacturing we could be producing tens or hundreds or even thousands of items in a day or even in an hour. Detection mode sets out existing control that will either prevent the failure mode from occurring or detecting it. And often we have a measure of how easy it is to detect, combining the severity, the probability and the ease of detection. We get some form of a risk level. Often this is stated as FMEA, risk priority number. So risk priority number or RPN, clearly in the project management we often represent this with a color coding, red, amber, green or simple risk number. Next, further investigation needed that will help us to more clearly define the failures and more accurately estimate the likelihoods and the impacts. And crucially, we have mitigation actions what we are going to do to mitigate the threat of or failure. And as with any risk register, you can add other things to this that will track responsibilities and performance of those mitigating action. So failure mode and effect analysis is very similar for any project manager to in order to analyze the risk or analyze the failures in the product which they are producing. And this mainly focuses on failures of system. So for some of the projects, this can be very useful additional tool of thinking about the threats to our project or to deliverables. So let's take a closer look at FMEA form. So here in this FMEA form, we are dividing this form into four categories. In first category, uh, the process step, failure mode, potential failure effects, and severity will come in to identify failure modes and their effects section. So once the failure is identified, next we need to identify what are the causes that is resulting this failure. So what are the reasons? Once the failure is identified, we need to identify what are the reasons for this failure. So that will come in the second section, that will be under potential causes, occurrence, current control, detection. So next is RPN, that is risk priority number. So risk priority number here, it is a product of severity, occurrence and detection. Okay, so once we have calculated the risk priority number, we will determine what are the potential actions that can be taken to overcome this failure. So that will be in fourth section, that is determine and assess action. So under this section we will be having actions recommended, responsibilities and finally actions taken. Calculate severity, occurrence, detection after implementing the new solution to overcome the failure. So and what will be the risk priority number after implementing the solution. Okay, so I will brief it once again. We will be dividing FMEA form into four segments. First is identify failure modes and their effects, and under this we have process step input, potential failure mode, potential failure effects and severity. In next section, once we have identified the failure, and we need to now identify what are the reasons for that failure. So there is potential causes. So the second section is identify causes for the failure modes and controls. So here potential causes, occurrence, current controls, and next is detection. And finally we need to calculate risk priority number or RPN. It is a product of severity, occurrence and detection. In the next section we have identified the failure and we have also identified the reasons for that failure. Now next is what is the solution which we are implementing it to overcome the failure. That will be in fourth section, that is determine and assess actions. Here actions recommended, response from that action and actions taken to implement the solution. So finally after implementing, what will be the severity, occurrence and detection, and finally we need to calculate again risk priority number after implementing. So of the risk priority number which we calculate, we need to compare before implementation and after implementation. So if the risk priority number has been reduced, then we can conclude our solution which we have implemented to overcome the problem is successful. let's solve one problem. Here we have one problem, that is ATM is not dispensing cash. Okay, so the problem is dispense cash. Dispense cash. So once we have identified the problem, so what is the potential failure mode? I mean, in what ways can we step can this step go wrong? So here, my reason what I am using this as the failure is the amount debited, but amount is debited from my bank account, but no cash is disbursed to me from the ATM. So here, amount debited, but no cash is disbursed. Next is potential failure effects, in the sense what is the impact on the customer if the failure mode is not prevented or corrected. Obviously, if someone faces if someone tries to withdraw money from ATM and if he doesn't get amount but his money is withdrawn from his account, then obviously anyone will be disappointed. Similarly, the customers are dissatisfied here. How severe is the effect on the customer? So for this question, I need to rate this from 1 to 10. So this will be rating from 1 to 10. So here 1 is not severe, 10 means very severe. So severity ratings can be from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, but here we are taking from 1 to 10. So 1 means it is not severe, 10 means it is highly severe and we need to take action very immediately. Here I will rate it as 8 on the scale of 1 to 10. Next is potential causes. So here, what causes the step to go wrong? That is, how could the failure mode can occur? So in this example, that is ATM is not disbursing the cash, we need to identify what can be the reason why ATM is not disbursing the cash. So the solution or the reason for this is whether it might be there might be some transaction failures, or there might be some network issues, or the software which is installed in the ATM machine might be having certain problems. So these might be the reasons for the causes. So first is transaction failure. Second may be the network issue, or third might be the operating system, which might be having certain problems in the operating system which is installed in the ATM machine itself. So these might be the potential causes. Next here, how frequently this problem is occurring. That is, in occurrence, we need to specify how frequently it is occurring. So this will also be in the scale of 1 to 10. So where 1 being not likely, 10 is very likely. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I need to rate in the occurrence section. So how much I can give for occurrence. So for this example, I will take it as 7. On a scale of 1 to 10, I will give 7. So in 10 customers, 7 customers are facing this problem. So like this we can uh, give the rating for occurrence. So in the next column, it is detection, which means if we install load balancer to distribute the network load, or if we upgrade the server, how often it will detect the problem. So if we try to install the network load balancer, will it detect the problem? Will the customer who is withdrawing the money can successfully receive his amount? That is the thing here. So here detection also we need to rate it from 1 to 10. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is easy to detect and 10 is not easy to detect. So I need to rate it from 1 to 10. So at present situation, this is the present detection technique what they are using in the ATM machine. So I will rate it as 4. It is very difficult to detect. So as soon as we install load balancer to the in order to distribute the network load, it is this also it is not a very good detection technique to overcome the failure. So next is RPM. So here risk priority number is a product of severity or severity, occurrence and detection. So if we multiply these three things, we will get risk priority number. So what is the risk priority number here? Risk priority number is nothing but 8 into 7 into 4. It is 224. 224. So next is actions which is recommended to overcome these failures. So this is the improvement actions which we need to implement now to solve the problem which we are facing. So here they also specified provide actions on high risk priority number or on severity ratings of 9 or 10. So we have severity rating as 8, but risk priority number is 224. So here it is up to you. You can recommend certain actions to work on the process, work on the problem, or you can leave it as it is. If the problem is not so of so high risk rating. So here, for example, I will give one action to overcome this problem. So we can improve the monitoring of cash threshold levels at the ATM. So here we can improve the monitoring of cash threshold levels across all ATMs, or the customers can get OTPs on their mobile phone. After entering of OTP, the amount can be dispersed from the ATM. So by this, it is just a sample example which I am giving now to overcome the cash dispense problem. Okay, first thing is update OS. Second is improve the threshold levels across ATM. Threshold levels across ATM. Third one is We can also give this option as customers will get OTPs on their mobile phone. After entering OTP only, the cash will be disbursed. Or even upgrade the server. So these are the possible actions which I am giving. It's up to you. You can give your own actions to overcome the cash disperse problem. So in the next column we have responsibility. So who is responsible for all these actions? So one leader should be assigned to take care of all these actions. So in the bank, for every bank there will be one called ATM manager. So ATM manager will be responsible for implementing these actions to overcome this problem. Next is actions taken. So whether these actions which are recommended is implemented, that will be reflected here. So threshold levels have been improved, OS has been updated, and we have introduced new feature called OTP for customers registered mobile number. So customers will get OTP on their registered mobile number. After entering that OTP in the ATM machine only, the cash will be dispersed. So these are the actions we are taken. So they need to specify it here. So now I need to mention again, I need to give rating for these parameters now. That is severity, occurrence and detection. So now the severity may be reduced to 7 from 8, and occurrence on 10 customer, maybe 4 customers might get failure, that is transaction failures. And next thing is detection criteria. So detection criteria may also be reduced to 3. So now new RPN, that is severity, occurrence and detection, after taking the product of all these things, that is 7 into 4 into 3, we get risk priority number, that is 84. Okay, the new risk priority number. So from 224, by implementing this simple solution, we have reduced the risk priority number from 224 to 84.